still so much we need to understand. We don't know what's going on deep in the soul of a carrot. And we thought for a long time it was beta-carotene, and that if we could take this out of the carrot, we would have a magic bullet that would help us with cancer, and we did it. And we made these pills, and we did test the pills, because you can do that double-blind. And guess what? They didn't do anything. There's something about carrots that's more than the sum of its carotenes. In fact, there are 50 different carotenes in a carrot, and we don't really understand. It's a wilderness in that carrot. The avocado just kind of sits there. And when everybody was worried about fat, nobody bought avocados because they're fatty. And then when everybody discovered that monounsaturated fats are good, everybody bought avocados. It was good for the avocado. But the avocado was very passive in this whole relationship. Not so the Fruit Loops. They can change the formulation whenever they want to reflect whatever the trend is. They can go low carb, they can go high carb, whatever you want, they can do. On the other side, you have the human digestive tract, which we once thought was a pretty simple mechanism for breaking down complex chemical compounds into simpler ones through acid and mushing and all this stuff. But in fact, it turns out to be much more complex than that. There are all sorts of signaling mechanisms and feedback loops. Did you know that there are as many neurons in your digestive tract as there are in your spinal column? What are they thinking? We don't know. It's the Stephen Colbert approach, you know, thinking with your gut. The point is, at both ends of the food chain, there are still fundamental mysteries. Nutrition may figure it out. I hope they do. The nutrition science that we listen to, that we heed, that we see written about in the newspapers all the time, it's a young science. Let's be charitable. It's kind of where surgery was in 1650. You know, really promising, really interesting to watch. But are you ready to get on the table? I don't think I am ready to organize my life based on their conclusions. It gives manufactured food, the most processed food, which is to say the most profitable food, an edge over real food. So you see that thinking about food this way is a huge boon to the processors. And that's where you make money in food. Anyone who grows food knows this. You don't make very much money, if any, growing food. You make money adding value to food, processing it. And this is the elephant in the room. It is the Western diet. It is this way we eat in America and increasingly throughout the West. Highly processed foods, lots of calories, very little fresh produce, very little whole grain, lots of meat.
Nutritionism, you know, that's like his whole new thing with the defense of food, is a really good point, because we do always concentrate on, like, you know, the phytonutrients and all that stuff, and it is important to kind of take a holistic approach to food, I think. I always do for like 2 weeks, and then after that it usually kind of falls down to me eating a lot of, you know, Fruit Loops, because I love Fruit Loops and things like that. But I do keep it in mind as much as I can.
I can't think of a better way to kick off a book project than to have this many people read a book and come ready to think hard about the issues.
If he expected every farm producer to buy local or to buy from the farmer to be a marketer, I don't think a lot of farmers are equipped to do that, at least in my generation. The reality hits the road when you actually have to try to do some of these things that these experts tell you ought to work. So whether this is feasible, I'm unsure.